Oh my God, another 5,000 bits? Holy shit. Thank you for the 10,000 bits, $100. Oh my God, thank you. That's insane. And thank you for the 20 the bones. Sorry, I've muted TTS. It's going a little rampant. Anyway, there's a lot of people who will DM me throughout the day or email me for various things. Ludwig, I have a great content idea. Ludwig, you should stream with me. Ludwig, you should play this game I made. Ludwig, please donate to my GoFundMe. I accidentally broke my leg playing basketball. That actually happened. And a lot of these things happen. And for the most part, I don't have the time to look into it and hope that your leg recovers speedily. But one guy had DM'd me at one point to do an interview at Genesis. And I remember reading it and being like, huh. And that was it. It was just one DM. If you really want to get the ball rolling, honestly, you got to like quadruple text me. And then at that point, I'll either be like, all right, no, I'm not interested, or yes, I am interested. So he asks for an interview, but I didn't respond. And then I meet him at Genesis. And he goes, hey, I'm the guy that DM'd you. Would you be down for an interview tomorrow? This was Friday. And I was like, tomorrow? You know what? Look, I'm not too big. I'm not too important to talk to you. Why wouldn't I? Sure. If I'm free and you find me, I'm down for an interview. Great move by him. Great move to have the initiative to ask in person, even though I didn't respond on DMs. If you guys ever want something from someone, that can work as well. Next day happens. He finds me and he says, hey, interview in 30 minutes? And I'm like, yeah, if you can find me in 30 minutes, I'm down. 30 minutes pass and he finds me. So far, he's killing the game. He is hustling exactly how you have to hustle. And then he comes back and he says, ready for the interview? And I say, sure, run it. I'm going to go to Starbucks in a bit, but I have some time. So we start walking from the venue to a hallway just outside the venue. And as we're walking to the hallway, he looks over and he says, so I usually write a script for these things, but I didn't this time. I was like, oh. And he's like, because I procrastinated. And I was like, huh. Okay. He's like, well, yeah, I just found out that we're going to do the interview yesterday because you didn't DM me. And I was like, all right, well, understandable, but, you know, if you want to do the interview, you should have it anyway. And if you don't have a script, then maybe whatever, fine. Not a big deal. Still walking. We get to the hallway, and he goes, inside or outside? And I'm like, it's your interview. And he's like, all right, yeah. Outside. Okay. When you walk outside of the Genesis venue from the hallway, you cannot get back in. So as he walks outside, I walk out, stop, plant my right foot, prop the door open because I don't want to be locked out. I'm looking outside and I'm seeing empty street, not a camera in sight. And I'm like, and he notices my face in confusion and goes, oh, I'm having my friends get the camera. It's like 2 blocks that way. And I look at him and I'm like, look, we just met. I'm not going to walk 2 blocks with you to do an interview. If you want to do an interview, just make it as easy as possible for me. Just have it set up so that I can just walk, do it, and then get on with my day. Instead of a whole 30-minute process. So he's like, yeah, okay. And I'm like, I'm going to go to Starbucks. And he's like, well, they're going to come back soon. And I was like, oh, how long do you think it'll take? And he says, and I'm not even kidding, he goes, 30 seconds. 30 seconds? They're going to go 2 blocks down, pick up a camera, and come back in 30 seconds. His friends were either Usain Bolt or literally driving on the sidewalk. I was like, no. I just said no. And he goes, okay, yeah. Like 1 to 2 minutes. And I'm like, you're lying. And he goes, okay, 5 minutes. And I'm like, all right, 5 minutes. I will be back here in 5 minutes. And then he goes, okay. 5 minutes pass. I meander the venue, walking around, talk to a couple friends, and I wait exactly 5 minutes. And I go back. I look in the hallway. Nobody there. Prop open the door. I look outside. Not a single soul there. I'm like, all right. I feel like I did my due diligence. I'm going to go to Starbucks. So, going to Starbucks. Takes me kind of a while. It's kind of far. We got to walk there. I finally see a DM from him. Because if you guys don't know, I pretty much read all my DMs. I never don't read my DMs. I just don't respond a lot of the time because 85 to 90% of them are just filler. It's like Naruto episodes 100 to 200. They're all trash and a waste of my time. It's literally just, some people just say, hi, Ludwig. Day 1 of saying hi, Ludwig. Day 2 of saying, I have like 20 people doing a day 1 of X challenge, which is really dumb, by the way, because I'll never respond to you. Then I have like 30 people every day who call me short, sniper get down, just drop a meme. Okay? And then I have a bunch of people who ask me like cursory questions that would just require a Google search. Hey, are the sweatshirts on your website? Hey, how do you download Pokemon? Would you think I'm going to... Are you out of your mind? I can't... So I usually don't answer, but I read most of my DMs. And he says, I'm ready. 40 minutes after he said 5 minutes. I'm like, all right. Still at Starbucks. I get back 20 minutes after I read his DM. An hour after he said 5 minutes. And I'm walking through the venue, and I find myself alone, and I say, all right, let's see if he's there. And I go to the hallway, and he's standing with the camera, and his 2 friends are with him, and they look miserable. One of his friends is a little smaller, a little younger. And they're like, can we finally go? Because I've arrived. And he's like, yeah. Can you stand in frame? And his friend's like a little shy or nervous or tired or whatever. And because his friend is small, he goes for the joke. He says, hey, how tall are you? And his friend looks him dead in the eye and doesn't say a fucking word. His friend was not having it. And I was like, oh no, he should have written a script. He should have written a script. They leave. It's just me and the guy. He has one lavalier mic. That's fine. Interview starts. And he starts off with his first bit. And I'm just trying to do the interview for him. So I'm just answering honestly. I think my arms are crossed. I'm listening. I'm just being honest. And he goes, so you've been commentating Smash for a while. Like a couple years ago, you commentated round 1 pools. And now, like this year, you're commentating round 1 pools. Which is a joke, but the way it was delivered didn't immediately sound like one. So I wait a moment, and then he goes, well, you commentated on Saturday too. That's cool. And I'm like, yeah, well, that's also round 1. But yes, I did commentate round 1 pools. Just do what they asked me to do. He's like, yeah, okay. And then I forget what it was, but he had to, because God sometimes makes you throw out a short joke. And I'm looking because I can see the camera feed from his camera, and I'm literally taller than him. So I'm like, buddy, I'm taller than you in the camera frame. And he goes, you're standing on a box. And then I pan his camera down to our feet and then pan it up. He's just like. And so the interview continues. And we get to a point after a few generic questions. How'd you do this? What got you into that? Where he's like, I forgot all my questions. Let's just skip to the end. And then he goes to his bag, pulls out a controller, and I'm holding the lavalier so he can do this. And he starts. I've heard you call yourself the self-proclaimed fastest masher in the world. No longer true. Could you show me how to mash? To which I now reply, because I'm trying to be nice, but I'm a little fed up. You fake fan! Not only do I have YouTube videos about mashing, which are my most popular on my channel, I have streamed showing exactly how to mash. I have tweeted multiple perspectives on how to mash. So she's like, okay, whoa. I was hoping you could watch me mash and then critique me. I usually get 160. I cap out around 170. I'm like, okay. And then he does something worse than everything he's done combined. He takes the controller with one hand, and he takes his thumb, and he takes his finger, and he does not double thumb, but he slides it across. And as I'm witnessing this unfold in front of me, I say, you are not going to one-hand mash. He's like, no, just you are not going to do this to me. And then he does it to me. I drop the lavalier. I walk away. I leave the interview. Maybe it's too far, Ludwig. Maybe you went too mean. I couldn't stand there being interviewed by a one-handed masher who's never broken 200 in their life, asking me to critique. It's like, I can't even fathom an analogy. Like a pee-wee football player asking Tom Brady, how's my throw? I'm disgusted. I walk away. I felt a bit bad, but I thought I did the most I could do for the interview. And I actually thought it was kind of a funny ending. And the next day, I'm at Genesis Top 8, and I'm towards the front, and I notice 2 rows back is the guy. And he's making side bets with some people around me. But I didn't really talk with him that I remember. Genesis Top 8 happens. It's great. Zane wins. So I'm hanging out like 10 minutes after it ended. And he's still there. And he comes up, and because I sponsored Zane, he goes, congrats on the mogul moves and, the big win. And I'm like, thanks, man. I appreciate it. We fist bump. And just as like a cursory end the conversation goodbye, I go, I hope the video turns out good. And then he looks back at me and he goes, it won't. And then walks away.